Yancy, I am so excited to have you on the Collide Kids podcast again.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back. It's been a
Yeah,
minute.
I know. You were probably one of my first guests. I think you were like one of the first 10 or 15 episodes. Like
Oh
you
my
were
God.
early on.
Well, it's nice to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And we get to see each other once in a while at different conferences and things, but it's always good to see all the things that you're still doing. And I love what you are passionate about. Would you just tell our listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. In a nutshell, I make music and I make music for kids. So I write songs, I record them, I produce music projects and videos, even a Christmas musical last year, did that. And then I've written a couple devotionals for preteen kids. And then I've written a book for adults to just help them learn more about worship. That's a passion of mine. And so I love being able to help church leaders and even moms and dads, be more intentional about what they push play on for their family and for their kids' ministry in their church. And so, yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then I get to travel and do live events and do family concerts and lead worship at some different VBS and camp events in the summer. And it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. I love it. And I love your pink hair, by the way.
Thanks.
I love that. So fun. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you get to see what it looks like. So I am excited to talk to you about all this stuff, especially about Christmas music, because that is one of my favorite things. But before we do that, because this is a show for kids, I always make my guests tell me a joke. So do you have a joke for us today?
Yeah, it's like a joke / really like a meme, really.
Okay. I love memes.
I don't know that there's a full-on punchline, like a real joke, but I saw this just last week, actually scrolling on my phone on Instagram, and it's a picture of Jesus in a coffee shop. Okay, so just
Okay.
picture that. Jesus standing in line at a coffee shop. And there is a sign that says 1 free coffee per person. And so Jesus goes to place his order with the barista guy, and he says, "So I guess I'll take 3 free coffees." Because
The Trinity.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, 3 in 1. And so Jesus, I guess, was caffeinating himself up for this road trip that he was taking with the disciples. And
I love that. That's good.
once he
That's good. He gets 3 free coffees.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love coffee. So that's fun. Now, I love memes and I post them on my social media all the time. And it's been dubbed my meme ministry because I have a lot of like church leaders I found out that started following me for that. So I'll have to find that one and add it to my meme ministry.
I can send it to you.
Okay, please do. I'd love that. Let's talk a little bit about Christmas music.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why you decided, because you do a lot of kids worship songs, you do a lot of covers, but you also have written a lot of music for kids and preschoolers, which are great. Like we still sing Hosanna, ho ho ho. That's my favorite song.
Yes.
Even though it's a preschool song, we did it all the time when I was a kids worship leader in the big kids, and they loved it.
Every year, like the Spotify Wrapped thing that comes out of the end of the year, it's like still every year. My number one.
That's your number one. That's good.
My Spotify Wrapped is Hosanna Rock, which is amazing in so many ways. Yeah. And then there's a part of me that goes, seriously? Like,
of all the ones, right?
Else that people will love as much as that one. But
yes,
it's a sweet gift.
Yes, it's great. And another thing that I love about it, being a kids worship leader, is I love being able to incorporate things that kids would hear on Christian radio or hear in big church. So they're not just getting kids songs that are just for them, but they're getting songs they can carry into student ministry or, and so you created a lot of those songs and adapted them for kids because sometimes those songs are really long or they're too low for kids to sing. So I love that you did that. Tell me a little bit about how you got started in kids worship. I know that we touched on that in the last episode. I'll be sure to put that in our show notes, but
okay.
How'd you get started in that? Let our listeners know.
Yeah. So I've been making music for a long time now, 27 years total. and music was always the thing that I set out to do, and I'm sure I explained that last time on the show. But I there was a series of years. I mean, really, it was probably spread out over about 5 years or so, where it's just I had a chance to write this one song for a summer camp program for kids, and I kind of say God led me through a bunch of easy yeses because it was just kind of record this one song and then go back to doing what I was doing and then record another song for kids and released my first kids album back in 2006 and then still didn't even know for sure that was the path God had for me. And as I walked stuff out just the following like 18 months or so, just a lot of things in my life changed and it just became more and more obvious that God was opening up doors for me to do music for kids and for families. And there were people asking me to do that. And then at the time, I was like doing some events for a couple of different ages, but it was just easy to see that, okay, the event that I was leading worship at for preteens, I just was connecting with that group of kids and they were really responding to what I did. So it just got to a point where it was like, okay, well, let's do this, and I grew up around children's ministry because that's what my dad did. So it wasn't a foreign world. And so I think that's why it was so easy, like at
Yeah.
that point in my journey to just be like, okay, let's do this. Because it's not like it was like, okay, now you're going to speak in French, and you're like, I
Right.
don't know how.
Right.
It was definitely like something that was very familiar and close with. I just
Yeah.
had not previously planned to take all of my musical goals and apply them to that specific
Yeah.
age group, and so it's been a lot of fun. So that's been my focus now since 2008, and it's cool. It's like my first group of preteens and stuff are all now, married and having kids of their own, and
Oh,
like working jobs at their first church, and it's been really fun and sweet just even in the last couple years of like running into some of those different people at conferences I go to and
hmm,
stuff, and they've got their own memory, like attached to what what my music meant to them, in their
yeah.
formative years, and so it's like
That's
this
awesome.
the cycle's starting over.
That's really cool. And that's cool when you can be in ministry for that long where you can experience that cycle. So that's really neat. And I love your music because I'll tell you, when I was growing up, kids' music that I listened to was most of it, not all of it, but most of it was pretty hokey. It was very like it was like the fake children's voices singing a song. And that's to me to this day is nails on a chalkboard. I don't like hearing fake children's voices. Like, actually get kids to sing on the album. I don't understand. But yeah, I love that your music is easy to sing, but it's also a lot of fun. Is that something that you set out to do when you create songs? Is what's really fun or what's really engaging for kids?
Yes, I mean, I think there's always elements of that, and especially when it's the music that I'm doing for younger age kids, then sure, there's a whole lot of action, a whole lot of movement and fun that you want to be there. Um, but yeah, I think for me, I always set out to perform music and to write music. And so those were my dreams and goals. And so when I started doing stuff for kids, it didn't mean that I wanted my musical art to be any less. Like
Mm-hmm.
I still want to write songs that have a great catchy pop hook, and I
Yeah.
want, like I want the music to sound normal, which I think is like what you were describing before. Like there's so much music for kids that doesn't sound normal. And that's why it can be so frustrating
Yes.
and annoying to listen to. It's
Right.
just like, I'll listen to stuff. I'm like, why? Why does anyone make themselves listen to this on the speakers? Like this
Right.
isn't good. And so, like I'm coming at it still wanting to make great music, still wanting it to be good as far as like an art project, like I still want it to be good. I'm just aware of who my audience is. And so that means I'm paying attention to the vocabulary or, like you said, like the vocal range of the song or, how it's going to be used. And, I've done enough live performance things and led groups of kids in worship to know like okay, this is what it's going to feel like live. And this is maybe what's not going to work or, will work. And then make production choices and some decisions in the studio based on what it will be like to make that song work with a group of kids. So,
Yeah.
so
So
just
just
kind of
kind of
able to
able
put
to
all
put all
those
those
things
things
together,
together,
but
but yeah,
definitely, definitely
definitely
happy,
happy,
fun,
fun,
energetic.
energetic. Yeah. And I think that's good too to consider like, how is this going to sound when a group of kids is singing it? How is this going to sound in a large room or whatever? And you have that experience because you
Mhm.
still leave worship to this day. So you're still
Yep.
able to know that. So that's really cool. Speaking of happy music, your Christmas album is one of my favorites. We did that a lot, especially around the Christmas season. And I love Christmas all the time. So I don't
Yeah.
know about you. What's the earliest that you start listening to Christmas music?
I mean, it all depends on the year, I guess, because if I'm working on something or not. It's like the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, what people may not realize is like when I made a whole Christmas album, we recorded it in May. Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
like that's what you have to do to have it ready
For
to go in
Christmas.
the fall and like get into all the systems and all the things. So, yeah, so it's like you're never doing it in the right season by any means. But I'm more of someone that likes to be prepared. So I mean, I'll listen to Christmas music if I wanted to listen to it, 2 months ago, like I could. It's not like
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that." I'm certainly not a wait until after Thanksgiving person. I don't
same.
the people that do that have very little stress in their life and obviously have a lot of extra time that they
That's
can
right.
just cram all that together. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I get my house decorated for Christmas sometime earlier in November,
Uh-huh.
because we go out of town for Thanksgiving holidays, and so it's like I need Christmas to be, like, fully operational,
Yes.
before that takes place.
Yes.
I like wrapping presents is one of my favorite things, actually. Like
Oh,
like gift giving is definitely a love
yeah.
language of mine, no doubt about it. Like, let's just state the facts. Like, gift giving is certainly there. But specifically, I love to wrap presents. I'm very anti a gift bag
Oh, okay.
because, I mean, they're just so lackluster to open up, you know?
Yeah.
It just happens like that. And I plan ahead for Christmas because I have to start wrapping, and
Mhm.
I even have to get certain presents ready for some of our family that lives in another state that we go see at Thanksgiving. Like, I get things all ready for them for Christmas, like before that. So I
Wow.
get my ducks in a row.
That's
So
good.
I take no offense in Hobby Lobby putting Christmas stuff out in the summer.
So I usually leave my stuff up because if you work that hard to decorate and do all that, I leave it up way like and then I found out there's what is it, Three Kings Sunday sometime in January that celebrates I think it's a Spanish holiday. So
Okay.
you get a like a week or two more to be like validated for your Christmas decorations. But I have a friend that she puts it up December 1 and she tears it all down the day of Christmas. And
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
like,
why? Like,
like what?
why do you have
What?
to be doing that on Christmas?
I don't know. So you have some great Christmas music, like I said before, and somebody said that you said earlier that somebody said made a comment about your music that it was very happy Christmas
Yeah.
music. Tell me a little bit about that. Was that your goal to make happy Christmas music?
I mean, I don't know that I had thought about it. It was so funny. So I have a Christmas album called "Have a Fancy Yancy Christmas," and then I've recorded a bunch of other single songs or like shorter EPs of Christmas songs since then too. But when I made that album and like first started having some people come over to the studio and hear what we were doing, or even when it first came out, like people kept commenting like, "It's so happy." And, like, it was, like, left us scratching our head because 'cause you're like, "Why?" Like, people are saying this as in it's odd, and, like, that's so not what Christmas music normally is like?
Yeah.
But, sometimes, especially the traditional Christmas music, it's just lots of slower songs and sleepy songs and, string and orchestra, and there is a lot of Christmas music out there that is just maybe a little more reserved or even drab. And so, yeah, my Christmas music is super happy. Like, even I guess an example of that is like I took Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. That's normally like this very slow
Mhm.
song traditionally, and I actually like sped it up and made it be a fast song. Because it's like the lyric matched that vibe.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so anyway, so yeah, I just try to make music that still is Christmassy, like you hear the sleigh bells on it. Like that's we kind of joke, like that's what makes any Christmas
That's
song like
right.
a Christmas song, is
That's
there's
right.
a sleigh bell track in it. But aside from that, then yeah, it's just still trying to make energetic, happy, fun music that is a good time and makes a good soundtrack to, do your Christmas decorations or go Christmas shopping in the car, or go to your soccer practice or whatever thing, go to church.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so definitely just making happy, fun Christmas music is now it's become a thing. So I can
Right.
keep it up.
That's right.
You
Now
know?
you can't
It's
put it
like,
back down.
can I take this song and do it totally different than how everybody else has done it?
Yeah, which really does make it more exciting for kids, because when they hear Christmas music, you don't want them to dread it, but at the same time, it is so. I think a lot of the slow ones tend to be very nostalgic, and so the adults have a tear in their eye or whatever, but the kids want something that's exciting and they can jump around to.
And it's a joyous season,
Right.
like what we're celebrating is totally joyful.
So you have a new song that's just come out November 1st. It's called Go Tell It or Go Tell It on the
Yes.
Mountain. Can you tell us a little bit about this song and how you came to put this together?
Yeah. So, I've recorded a decent amount of Christmas songs so far. So, there's always more, but sometimes it's like, okay, well, which one have I not done that I still could do
Yeah.
that people would want? And so, um, it's kind of funny. There's twofold. So, especially last summer. So, I'm a mom. I have two boys, and my younger son, Rhythm, he definitely was drawn to Go Tell It on the Mountain last Christmas. Just and some services we went to and music that we listened to. It was like he kind of kept either requesting it or asking me questions about it. And I kind of was like, all right, well, if like Rhythm is interested in this, there's something to that. Like,
Hmm.
that's what I should do next. I should make a version of this. But then, like, another fun layer to it is actually when I was a kid. So, I mean, I started, singing at church and performing special songs and doing solos in the kids' choir and all that when I was in elementary.
Hmm.
And I totally, like, performed a version of Go Tell It on the Mountain back when I was at single
Oh,
digits, and I actually, like, I need to work on this because I'm trying to track down the footage of me performing it on
yes. You need
our
to find it.
local Christian TV station. We lived in Montgomery, Alabama at the time, and find a clip of me performing Go Tell It on the Mountain because I think that would be, like, a really fun
Yes, for
little
sure.
video to show online. So, yeah, so I mean, obviously, I've got some history with this song as well. And so just kind of had that on my things to do list for this year to record a version of it. And just one day driving around my car, kind of came up with this vamp part that is kind of why I'm calling the main title Go Tell It. There's a vamp that I'm definitely like doing a whole bunch with the Go Tell It, but it still is Go Tell It on the Mountain, and kind of added a extra little section to the chorus of the song and wrote another bridge for it. And so I'm excited. It's a lot of fun. Like the track's a party, and I'm excited for all the Collide Kids podcast listeners to play it with their
Yeah.
families and add it to their playlists when they're doing their things in the car, or maybe even when they're opening presents on Christmas morning, and just have fun singing along with this song that just reminds us that we have a job to do, and that's to tell the story of Jesus.
I love that. When we used to sing that, we would point to someone and we would say go and we would shout the word go cuz like,
Yeah,
hey, it's your job, it's my job, we're to go and
yeah,
tell people, not just stay where we are and hope that people figure it out. We
yeah,
need to tell people. So I love that song. That's definitely a fun one.
yeah.
Cool. So it's available Spotify, Apple Music,
Yeah,
all those good
it's
places.
available all the places. I can give you a link that you can put in your show notes, and
Okay.
then they'll click through to it, and then they'll just pick which platform they want to listen to the song on, and then they can listen to that. And then I've got a whole Christmas playlist as well.
Oh,
Make
cool.
sure you have a link to as well, and obviously Go Tell It will be added to that for this year, but it'll be all my Christmas songs together with a few other favorites mixed in, and would love for everybody to listen to that this Christmas.
All right, I have a quick rapid fire question. I'm going to ask you a bunch of
Ooh.
questions about Christmas, okay? So let's see how we do. Okay, so favorite Christmas carol.
Um, the first Noel.
That's a good one. What
Yeah.
about your favorite Christmas song that's not a hymn or Christmas carol?
Uh, that's oh, oh. Can I give you several? I
Sure.
can't pick one. They're like different reasons. Okay, I mean Tennessee Christmas just for like nostalgic reasons.
Yes.
100%. Like that's it's Christmas if you're hearing Tennessee Christmas. Um, so that one, and then I always loved Emmanuel, and which I did a version of that as well. That was like an Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith, like classic as well. That was a favorite. But there's a song by Christy Knuckles that I love called Wrap This One Up.
Okay. Oh,
And it is so cool. It's been like the premise of the song is about um Jesus being the Lamb of God. And so it's all told through the narrative of what it's like normally to be that sacrificial lamb,
wow.
and just the process that they go through, like over in Israel and where they're kept and the gate they walk through and all of this stuff. And so it's likening the whole Christmas story of Jesus with this sacrificial lamb concept. And to me, it's one of the best things I've heard in a really long time. I mean, it's now been out like 5 years, but still,
Yeah,
like, I still am like,
that's
this is
it.
this is the best concept that I've heard in ages. It's a slow song, but
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I
It's the
love that. Okay. Let's see. Favorite Christmas singer, like the classics, the favorite voice you always go to.
I mean, I have to go with Amy Grant for that.
Okay.
With
I
the
like
Queen of
that.
Christmas. I mean, certainly like that's the album. I pull that one out and I pull then the Mariah Carey one out, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, one is my childhood, one is my teenage years,
Yes. That's
probably
right.
when they came out. And so it certainly all feels like Christmas when I listen to those.
So, what's your favorite Amy Grant song? Christmas song.
Lots of things from the very first one.
Okay.
So, I mean, I mentioned Emmanuel already, like that's
Mhm.
up there. Tennessee Christmas is from that too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Love Has Come. Love
Mhm.
has
Oh,
come
I
for
love
the
that
world
one.
to know. Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite place to visit that reminds you of Christmas?
I guess home, or I mean, I live here in Nashville, Tennessee. So going to Opryland while it's decorated for Christmas
Mhm.
is always a good time and always special.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Love that. All right, last one. Favorite Christmas food or dessert? What is it? Like, do you have to have this for it to actually be Christmas or feel like Christmas?
I mean, probably like sausage balls.
Me too.
I mean, that's definitely like a classic.
Yeah, we love that.
I love peppermint bark as well. So
Ooh, okay.
that's always good. And then my grandmother always made this stuff called pecan pie cake.
Ooh,
That's very good as well. And so
that
that
sounds
just is
good.
kind of like always around. And I still make it now, every Christmas. So I guess that's probably one of those things that it feels like it has to be there,
Yeah.
So.
I carried over the tradition of making sausage balls for Christmas. And then if I ever make them outside of the Christmas holiday, my kids are like, why are you making Christmas sausage balls? Like it's
I know.
Christmas food.
Traditionally, we at my house always have just done that. And then my oldest son finally really fell in love with them this last year.
Uh-huh.
He started eating them. And I'm like, there's no reason you can't make them other times of the year.
I
So
know, but
we
just
have made him a few other batches up at a couple other points this year because he then has kind of made it be a more regular thing in
nice.
his eating. But
That's good. Well, now I'm so pumped about Christmas, aren't you?
yes,
Let's
I
go.
need to start wrapping presents.
Oh, you do. Absolutely. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And I definitely will include all the links we talked about so people can go check out your music and download your new song because I think they're definitely going to enjoy listening to this Christmas season to go tell it.
Yes, I would love it. Please push play.
So before I let you go, I always ask my guests to tell me a memory from when they were a kid. So we've talked about a few, but do you have another memory you want to share with us today?
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing that popped in my head, I know I've come across this picture in recent years where it was a Christmas when I was a kid, and I got this pink boombox, and I have the picture to prove it. It was amazing.
Oh,
And so I gotten a bunch of like people's albums that Christmas, and like I had all my soundtracks so I could practice my singing and all of that stuff. And so this pink metallic Sony boombox was amazing back in the day. The only thing is, I do remember I have the picture, so I know it happened, but it had like a mechanical like failure pretty early on.
oh no.
And when we took it back to the store, like there were no more pink ones. So I ended up with just like a normal black one moving
Oh,
forward. But on Christmas, the pink happened, and there is a picture.
that's very cool. When I had a boombox, I had a plain black one, but
Yeah.
I would always record stuff from the radio. So I'd put my cassette tape in and I would have my trigger finger ready. And whenever an Amy Grant song came on the radio, I'd record. So I
Yeah.
never got like the first 10 seconds of her songs.
Okay.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for sharing that for us. And thank you so much again for being on the show. This was so fun.
Thank you for having me. It's always a good time.
Hi, I'm Rhythm Gold, and I have a joke for you. What do you call cheese that isn't your cheese? Nacho cheese!